Welcome to another episode of Breaking Even, where amateurs stay amateurs. I'm your host, Haas, with my amateur buddies. Amateur Yul, how you going?
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good. Why are you looking at me like that for?
because West Coast is shit.
Oh.
How you going, Amateur Mus?
Like Carlton.
Well, I didn't lose by 170 plus points.
Praise.
How are you, Mus?
I was good before the buys came around.
I see you got
No.
an Arsenal top there.
Gunners, mate.
Brand spanking new, is it?
Mus is like
Straight from
Con.
London.
Next year we're going to be like Mus, don't choke.
Hey, I was only up there with one round.
It's a big joke.
I need to check straight away.
What's your position at the moment?
Sixth?
On the ladder?
Yeah.
All right, mate, good luck. And Amateur Chef, how you doing?
Good, mate. Good. I'm coming up the ladder, mate. I'm going to catch Moose.
That's it.
That's my goal.
Good to see you've won 5, is it?
Seriously.
How many have you won, mate?
4 or 5 in a row?
5 in a row, congrats. So you're coming up to 6.
Coming up, mate.
We're previewing our round 16. We'll get straight into it, Chef. 3rd versus 12th at the G. Tomorrow night, we're recording as of Wednesday. The Lions are taking on the Tigers. Upset or not?
I don't think so. I think the Lions at home are very tough to beat, so they'll kick on. They've got a couple of games at the Gabba, back to back. I think they'll win, cement their spot, and head to the finals. So, yeah, Lions easy, I think. I think Lions will beat them quite comfortably.
I think the Lions will win as well. Any players from here that you recommend, or even a vice captain?
I think the captains are the same. We talk about the Lions players every week, the Neils, the Dunkleys. So either or is a good vice. Downgrade options, you got Jasper Fletcher, 150k. So he's a good one. Looks a good player. And Lohman, which is your man, but I think he just got dropped. So
Just had a look at the fixture and he's omitted.
so don't bring him in.
Yeah. He's played his 2 games and, yeah, just like
Charlie Constable, mate.
Constable and Wagner, he's out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Sit on the
so-
bench.
All right. I think Lions win, and there's really probably a downgrade option, maybe an Ashcroft, who's at 408k.
Oh, yeah.
So if you've got 2 playing in your midfield, then maybe let him go. His last 3 games at the Gabba though,
Nah.
97, 124, and 87.
He only scores at the Gabba, so you got to keep him for the next 2 games
Absolutely.
and then get rid of him.
So he's in 44% of teams, which is about 83,000 teams out there. So I think if you can keep him because he's good coverage.
Did you work that on the top of your head or did you plan?
It's called research, my friend. You should try it from here and there. Moving on, guys, to our Friday night game. 13th versus 9th. The Swannies taking on the Cats. Musa, I'll let you guys take care of this. Who wins and any plays from here?
Oh, well, I think it was a hard, tough win for the Swans last week. So
Close game. Pretty close.
it wasn't close, but I reckon it was they toughed it out. So I reckon that form should take them to the rest of the year.
I don't know. It could work both ways now. They've got to be overconfident and try to come in with the same kind of game plan where the Cats can just shut them down and then
It was a tough, gritty win. It was a tough, gritty win.
I believe so. They had all their players in, no players injured, full team West Coast.
So, but even then, you know, their star players in Mills didn't really perform against a really bad West Coast team. And Malikan was
Mills didn't
minor-
even play.
Callum Mills.
Yeah, he did. He got subbed out.
Subbed out.
He got subbed out. But he
Managed.
didn't play that. Yeah, he didn't play that well. He
Stress
went
back
back.
injury, yeah.
Yeah, research. But Malikan was like -2 for like half the game.
That's because the
He's the
ball
only
never
one that
went
didn't
there.
score.
Yeah, but even then, was still -2.
I needed him to at least score me like 50 or 60. I would have been happy. Seriously.
But I think Sydney. Well, Carlton had a massive win against the Eagles, and then they went the next week and lost, right? So we'll see how the Swans go. Who do you reckon?
I reckon the Cats will come up. I reckon they'll come up.
Cats are starting to come good now. So, and I think plays out of these games here is Parker. I called it a few weeks ago. I said 110 average from round 4 rounds ago onwards, and he's probably averaged like 120 now, 134.
That's what he scored last week.
Yeah, cool. So that means he's averaging over 120 for the last four or 5 weeks now. So I think if you have him, ride that streak.
Do you know who played well last week?
Good research.
Do you know who played well last week? Tanner the Spanner.
How'd you go, Mus?
I knew he was going to come good eventually.
I think it's got like
16 rounds
90
too
or, so,
late.
or 100 or so.
Yeah, well, finally played what I thought he was going to play at the start of the season.
But it's only one game.
Bloody spanner.
Dangerfield comes back in. Is he one to look at?
I don't think so. He would have a high break even at the moment.
High break even. He's probably. Yeah, he's probably not going to be scoring what he did at the start of the season. I think at the moment he's probably going to be. He's going to do like a little mini preseason to try to get ready for the finals, and who knows, man? They might even manage him as well to get him fit for finals if they make it.
There's a team or two that probably out there in our comp that don't have Errol Goulden. Do we bring this Turkish superstar in?
I brought him in last week, so I was pretty happy I brought him in last
160
week.
plus.
I don't have him.
Would you consider bringing him in?
What is he midfield?
Mid
forward.
Midfield.
But I think it's like 560 or something.
564.
Yeah,
He's down. He was 600.
Yeah, he did go.
Well, I think at this stage, I think people need to. Then I think I get this wrong all the time, and I think you got it right last week. Is people need to stop thinking, oh, he's gone up 200 grand. I don't want to get him because he was originally this price. It's like if they're A grade premium now, you got to bring him in, right? If you have the money and if you've got the spots on the field. So yeah, if you need him and you think he's going to be the top 6 forward from here onwards, then you got to bring him in. But at the moment, limited trades. Limited rookies to downgrade money, so it's
I'm sitting on 12 trades, so do you recommend bringing him in?
with 5 boosts as well.
I've got one boost. No, in all
Yeah, you
seriousness,
got to bring him in.
Yeah,
if
you got the trades, I think if you got more than 7 trades, it's probably a luxury to bring him in then.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll move on to our Saturday first game. Chev, the Kangas are playing at Adelaide Oval.
You missed the game, mate.
Research.
You missed the game.
Bulldogs.
Get your research right.
Bulldogs for you.
Bulldogs. No, I'm on the AFL.
He's in the AFL app. At the same time, that's why.
Is it?
Oh,
Both
Same
145. So,
Nice.
yeah.
we'll go to the Victorian game first.
You want to go Victorian first?
Go Victorian.
Marvel. The Doggies sitting in 7th, must win, hosting the Fremantle Dockers in 11th.
Yeah,
Who wins? And
massive game for both teams. Doggies want to stay in the 8, so I want to keep the momentum going. Freo played well last week. Got the win against the Bombers. I don't rate the Bombers, but they played well, got the job done. Darcy back.
Yeah,
Jackson
Darcy.
playing career best form. So
Very good form.
I think it's going to be a really good game. Honestly, I think I'll tip the Doggies just because it's a Marvel. If it was away, I would have tipped Freo.
Any plays from here?
Captain options, you've got plenty. You got English, you got Bont, you got McRae if you need, like a Smoky, but he was quiet last week. Then you got Brayshaw, Sarong on the other end. So plenty of options. Just, what do you want to do? Like, how can you go past Bont, really? Like,
Can't.
I think Bont has to be number 1 for everyone as a vice option, potentially.
There's a player there in defence. He seems to be doing a lot of running. Caleb Daniel. Is he a viable option for your defence?
No.
Too expensive, I think.
But he's,
Yeah,
a good pod if you got the money.
If you've got one more
You
spot
know.
to fill in your back line, like myself, would he be the one to go for, or maybe someone else?
He started really inconsistent at the start of the season. He did pick up good, but what if he goes back into that?
Yeah, it just depends on his role. If he keeps playing the same.
He's playing
Mid-
forward,
mid back, yeah, so-
playing everywhere.
So he's got the license to do whatever he wants really at the moment. But if that changes, if he gets a specific role, then that's going to affect his
The
scoring.
Bevel effect.
Yeah.
Noted. No dramas. Let's move on to the next 145 game, which is Adelaide at home, 8th, versus 17th, the Kangas. Jung and Mus, take it away, amateurs.
I think Adelaide, being at home, they're playing well. It's going to be quite an easy game for them. Sorry, Chev, but
No,
it is going to be an easy game.
I'm going for the Kangas. I'm going for the Kangas. It's going to be upset.
You do that.
It's going to be an upset this week.
sure.
Radden signed a 4-year contract, I heard,
As an assistant.
as a coach.
No, it would be assistant.
Post on
Any
fleek.
Kangaroos insight news? Or?
Definitely not as a coach because Kako's still the head coach.
He's still getting $1 million.
He's still
They've
getting
still
one-
got some inside info.
regardless, they're going to still pay him 1.2
Yeah.
million for the next 4 years,
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
it?
it's-
So
I don't think it doesn't look like he's going to come back this year, but he's still the head coach. That isn't-
Any plays from here, guys?
There's a lot of players.
Keys, or I think the main one right
Bloody
now.
Keys, man.
The main
Keys
one
brings him in.
probably has to be Keys, right? To bring in, he's still cheap. He's had a very off year because I think he's
Forward row.
forward roles. Like I think his position has changed, but now it looks like he's playing more midfield.
And
So
he's scoring
Keep
goals.
it up. Keep it up.
yeah, and scored goals. But if he spends more time in midfield like he did last year, then there's no reason why he can't score what he did last year from here onwards. But in saying that though, he did actually start pretty slow last week, and then he got, I think, in the last quarter, maybe the last 10 minutes, he got a lot of cheap possessions, which brought his score up. And I was like, what the hell?
It was tagging Dacos at the start, but then I don't know. They probably just gave up. Like stuff.
Dacos was off, I
Right.
think, for the first 5 minutes as well on the bench, and then he comes on, and then he just went straight to him as well.
Yeah.
But
But it didn't
you know
last long.
Dacos.
But that's if you want another Adelaide player in your team, right? So most people have got Dawson, most have got Led, right? So with Keys, he's going to be the forward line. So you've got one in each kind of field, back, mid, and forward line. Got to bring him in.
Eddie Ford, George Woodlord. Do we trade these guys if you have them in your sides out? Or what do we do here, guys?
I traded them all last week.
I traded mine last week as well.
Yeah, I think so. Look, it depends on how your team's looking. Both of them will keep playing. So if you want a good rookie that's going to be cover for you, you keep him. But if you want to upgrade, but there's not many options to do. Like Eddie Ford in the forward line, who can you get? At the moment?
Golden.
Merrick. No. Like
well,
if you want to make money,
Downgrade.
downgrade.
I went with Harrison last week.
Yeah. So Harrison
So
had his price change. So Merrick's probably the only one really, and he's not really that.
yeah,
Reliable,
Nice.
actually. Saying that, Cunnington, does he come back this week?
Oh, it'll be tough. I think he'll come back and play probably one more, max 2 games, just as a farewell, and then I think he's done.
I don't think he'll make much difference to their team.
I'd like to see him play with.
I think I prefer Greenwood as that experienced player, just because he can move a bit better. Cunners, unfortunately, I love him to death. Probably one of my favourite players of all time as a Kanga, but I think his time's come to an end.
No worries. 4:35, Chef. 10th versus 1st at, what's that stadium called? Heritage Bank Stadium. The Gold Coast Suns are taking on the Mighty Pies. Who wins? And then he plays from here.
I think the Pies surely will win that one, right? But
I feel that.
Gold Coast, I don't know.
I
feel
think the Magpies are a really good team, Perry.
Is this like an inside joke? Or something?
It is an inside
Perry.
joke. Sorry, guys. Was it
one of our
Perry?
views.
Sorry, it's just a guy from indoor.
Oh,
He's,
nice.
He always says that every week I'm giving shit to the Magpies, but I said nah. It's normally Carlton.
Yeah, it's not Carlton or Essendon. So no, Pies are doing what they need to do. I don't know, but Gold Coast, I think at home will be a good challenge. I think they'll put up a fight. But
Depends what team they bring up against, like how they play.
yeah,
They can be like really good one say, and then next week just be absolute terrible.
they've got good form at home, so it's normally a way that they struggle. But I think it'll be a good game. But I think Collingwood will get it.
If Noah Anderson, there's no Anderson.
That's correct.
If he can have a game that he played at the start of the season, then I feel like they're gonna win because he's been weak.
Yeah, very
Of late.
inconsistent. Yeah.
So he needs to step up. If he does, I think they can win it.
Bailey Humphries, still in your side?
Yeah, still on my side. Only 34 last week. Been doing really well before that, so you probably got to flick him now. Got to go. Just got to go.
If you can't flick him, because you're down to really low trades, do you just keep him as a bench option?
If you can afford that $400,000 player on your bench, then
that
yeah,
option?
it's
Yeah.
400.
It's a difficult.
He's either going to be on your field as your forward 6, or he's got to go.
Well, I think a few people most likely will have him or Yo in their team, right?
If you got both, then
If you got both, I think you probably need to get rid of Humphreys first because Yo's not going to decrease in value.
Yeah.
Humphreys is going to decrease,
he's
right?
given very high this week. Yeah.
If now that we're struggling for rookies and rookies increasing money, then this is where you're gonna get your last stitch of funds from. So you probably need to take advantage, trade out Humphreys, bring in Marek. You know what I mean? Who cares? He's 102,000, all right, and then keep Yo on the bench if you don't have enough trades this week, and then trade him later.
You can also do another option, because I've got Humphrey, so I can speak for my team. Looking at Taron Thomas, he is cheaper, so you make about 50k. Or if you've got an extra 60k, you can go to Ben Keys. So,
Nice.
you know, depends on your bank. You've got a few options there. And then, yeah, obviously, if you want to really make some money and downgrade, go to Marrick and you make, 300k.
With that game done, guys, let's move Ewing and Moose to the next game for our Saturday night. The Bombers at the MCG, 6 versus 2nd against Port Adelaide. Does Hinkley get 12 in a row?
No, he will not. Come on, the Bombers.
I think Port's going to win this one. I think they're going to keep going. Essendon's not the greatest team. So
Okay.
They're not going to keep on winning. Like, eventually they'll have to lose.
they're going to win this round. They're
No,
going
they
to keep
won't.
winning for this round because I hate Essendon and I don't want them to win.
I think Vish mentioned to you Moose, a couple of weeks ago to bring in Nick Martin.
He
didn't
did.
know who
So
it was.
he mentioned to me, he's like, Moose, I
It's been a
think.
deja vu right now. Wait, did he also think it was Dusty Martin's
That's his brother, I think. Yeah.
No, he mentioned to me, he's like, I think I'm going to bring in Nick Martin. I was like, be careful, Vish, because Parrish is back and it's going to affect his scoring. And
What happened was?
there's one round, so it could possibly from now on affect it.
But when you said Parrish is back, Vish is like, who's Parrish?
Is he going to church?
Guys, Nick Martin, he's 5'69", mid forward. His last 4 scores 120, 129, 139, and a 124. He is pretty much this year's Supercoach POD. He's only in 4% of teams, and he's scoring you that much. Like, you gotta have to bring him in if you can.
If it holds up, yeah, but look at what's his price tag?
569.
That's pretty expensive right now. So,
Just sell all of them.
huh?
Just sell all of them.
Nah, mate, he's going to be my pod.
No worries. With that, two guys, if you've got Butters or Rosie, do you bring in the other one?
Oh, Rosie potentially, but Butters is hard. He's 600k, right? So 600k. Can you afford it? Do you have enough money? I would say that a lot of teams right now won't have that much money sitting in the bank
Or trades.
and don't have the right rookies to be able to trade down. And I think only the good teams potentially. In my head, I'm thinking the really good teams will probably go Sheasel to Butters or something, right? And that will top them up to like eventually win the whole freaking AFL comp. Yeah, but besides that, I don't think so. I don't think
Definitely a
no.
luxury.
I think Butters has the ceiling to go high, like as we've seen before. But yeah, if you got the cash, I would definitely go for him. But
I'd pick up Butters as well because he's from Bacchus Marsh as well, so he knows his ins and outs.
don't destroy a team just to get him in.
What?
Fruit picking.
Can't find gold.
That's how he gets the
Apples.
ball straight away. He's like,
He played with apples when he was younger.
all right, guys, let's move on to the Sunday games, our last 3 games. Shiv, the Mighty Hawks, 16th versus 15th, the Mighty Baggers. Who wins and any plays from here?
Great game, this one. There'll be a lot of viewers watching this one, I reckon.
I'll be watching. Thank you very much.
Are you be watching too? It's a Hawks.
Definitely be watching this
I
one.
actually think the Hawks will have a chance here. I think the Hawks will...
His bandwagon Hawks.
You know what? I have like
And a
these
bandwagon
wooden
Arsenal
things
supporter.
when I made in primary school, and I stuck Jason Dunstall's picture on them. That's how long I've been.
Oh.
Since I was a little kid, Jason Dunstall was
Can you prove it? Have you still got the picture?
somewhere in my house. It's not. It's actually a wooden piece and a picture stuck on it.
Nice.
Is it in black and white as well, or
No, I'm not that old.
gotcha? Anyone
old,
else from here?
What was his nickname? Dunstall's?
Dunstall, Chief.
Chief.
I thought it was a sledgehammer. Okay,
What?
sledgehammer.
When has anyone ever called him that?
This one is true.
The Velvet Sledgehammer was Matthew Lloyd.
Was it?
Yeah, that's his
Okay.
nickname. I reckon the Hawks will win this.
Yeah.
If you keep Kerno and Mackay quiet.
With no
Actually,
Sicily.
who's going to play in Kerno?
With no
Who's going to
Sicily.
play Kerno? I reckon Frost.
Frost.
Oh, okay. Carter will win then.
I reckon by 5 goals. Plays from
Hawks
here.
have got this. Hawks have got this, guys.
We're
First
gonna
time
win.
I'm ever going for the Hawks.
We're going to take this. We're going to beat
Sicily.
him.
Will Day's taking his spot, 478. He's probably one to bring in if you haven't got him.
Yeah. There's not that. What is he priced at? 470?
470, 478.
Yeah, but when Sicily's back, what's going to happen to his scoring? That's never
He
going to
was still scoring in the 90s to low hundreds when I wouldn't say low hundred, but in the 90s, 80s, 80s, low 90s,
Yeah.
Sicily was there.
But I think if you can afford to get O'Brien or a Ridley, you probably go that way.
Get that right?
Well, he's definitely not going to be like score what he scored last week.
Nah,
Career year game for him to certain people to win the match against me. But yeah, anyways,
But he did take, like I said, he did take Sicily's role, so he was
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
all the intercept marks.
yeah,
We got 3 more weeks of that, or was it 2 more weeks?
two.
Too.
Next game, Young and Mus, the D's 4th versus GWS at somewhere in 40 degrees.
TIO Stadium.
TIO
Darwin.
Stadium in Darwin.
40 degrees.
Who wins and any place from here?
I reckon Giants. Giants will be a good win. Paying $3, I think that's a pretty good price for them to win. And player wise is, there's not a lot, right? There's not a lot in GWS, but for Melbourne, there is no Oliver. Is the one that out. So who steps up? Viney. Does Viney step up?
Viney
Trucker's been stepping up, so
and Viney.
yeah.
But Petrarca scores, like he just scores anyway, right? So, but who's going to be taking the other points? Which
Well,
is
Oliver
gonna
comes
be-
back, Petrarca will probably slow down a bit.
Yeah, but I think Viney will be the one. He'll take over a bit of scoring. So if you got a few trades, like you got 12.
Big Maxi gone was a big game this week. You watch.
I think Melbourne's going to win this, and being in Darwin, it's going to be a lot of Indigenous culture there. I think Pickett's going to have a nice game up there
Okay.
in front of his
Pick,
people.
pick,
Pick.
In front of his people.
Indigenous people.
Okay, cool.
What, there's none in Melbourne, you say?
No,
He's
but
actually
that's
from
more
South
of a,
Australia. That's different tribe, mate. You don't want to go there.
all right. Let's move on to this.
That's not a
GWS play,
Or
Himmelberg?
get cancelled, huh?
Himmelberg, did you want to mention?
Yeah, Himmelberg. Yeah, I think is a
Low 400s?
change in role, going back to the back line. Did well last year playing that role, but it's a gamble if you want to take the punt.
Last game, the Eagles 18th, sitting dead last against the 5th, Mighty Satyrs. Young, what happens here?
Eagles.
By 170 points?
Eagles by
We've all got some extra in our faces.
34 points. Saints are gonna cop it. No, I don't know. There's talk of maybe Ryan and Cripps coming back. Govern's probably going to be another week, so we'll see. But they've got, even if they come back, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. All the young players are all going to be like 18, 19, so it's just going to be a bit tough for a bit, but we'll see how it goes.
A lot of heat on your club this week, like it has been all year. What do you got to say to the fans?
Fans and the media.
Boycott
The West Coast
boycott the
fans.
game or attend the game.
The media and the fans who are wanting to sack the coach, sack this, just calm the F down, all right? They've been in the competition, for 30 years or whatever it is. We won 4 premierships, made 7 grand finals, 1 grand final every 5 years. They've had a lot of success. It's a bit of downtime. Yes, it hurts, but we'll be there. Richest club in the comp, the biggest membership base, they'll be fine. So just get through this period and it'll be good. Sooner or later, you're going to get Jinby, Noah Long, Elijah Hewitt. They're going to be on 50 games, right? Jinby's played every single game this year, maybe 1 or 2, right? But he's going to pretty much finish the season with 20 odd games. And he's going to do it again next season. In his second season, he's going to be like 40, 50 games. So by the end of next year, you're going to get Noah Long, Hewitt, Jinby on 50 games. Harley Reid's going to be on 20 odd games. You know what I mean? And Oscar Allen probably going to be on 100 games, or maybe there and abouts. Barras is going to be probably captain because Shuey's probably going to retire by then, and he's on 150 games, so they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Just calm down.
Do you, if the doggies put either English or Norton on the table for Harley Reid, would you take it? Would you take English, or would you take Norton?
Good one.
English is a free agent after next season, so West Coast aren't going to contend next year. So keep Harley Reid. I still think if Harley Reid is this generational player, you got to keep him. Who cares about breaking up these draft picks, and you're just bringing him. English will come back in 2025 if he wants to come back, and Norton will also come back in 2026. I think that's when he's a free agent. If he wants to come back, or if they want to do a few trades for him to come back, he can come back, push it, and West Coast can give them a few picks. But I think if they want to come back, they can come back. But next year will be no difference. However, Norton and Oscar Allen partnership up front, it'll be unstoppable.
Harley Reid, is he from? Where is he?
No, it's from
Victoria?
Victoria.
He's from Victoria. Yeah.
Is it going to be the same as a Horn Francis situation if he goes up?
Nah,
Sickness.
nah, because we're a better club than the Kangaroos, unfortunately. To Kangaroos. We are. Like, West Coast don't lose many players if they don't want them to lose, because, like I said, we are the richest club, and once you're at the Eagles, you pretty much are set up for life. Like, regardless of once you retire, all right, they've got so many sponsorships, they can find you jobs. You know what I mean? It's like, I would say it'd be pretty similar to being at Collingwood. If once you're at Collingwood, you're pretty much set. You're not going to go broke, right? So you play for Collingwood or play for West Coast, and even if you retire from footy and you've got no qualifications, you will find a job somewhere, right? So that's the type of club that West Coast is. Yes, Judd left because Victoria, but he still won us a premiership before he left, right? But besides from that, West Coast don't lose players that they don't want to lose, so they tend to keep them. Shuey is from Victoria, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, but Rioli was a bit of a different story, right? He left for family reasons. He had a lot of family in SA, but he still won us a premiership, you know what I mean? And like I said, we don't lose many players. We don't. Like, we lose a couple here and there, but over the journey of 30 years, they haven't lost many players, right? Rioli, Judd, who are the big stars. Who else, you know what I mean? There isn't that many that leave West Coast. They stick around.
One last one from me. The coach, he's been on the pressure the whole season. He's been there for more than 10 years. He's stuck through and through. How do you feel, and is a message out there for the fans out there?
Stick with him. Stick with him. West Coast are not going to... West Coast said they're going to stick by him. They will stick by him, right? They're not... And then there's all these people talking about they don't want to sack him because they're going to pay him out 1.6 million over the next 2 years. It's going into the soft cap, and West Coast have to pay tax. They're the richest club. They don't care about this little soft cap. I'm pretty sure they can afford it. Right? I'm not saying they don't care. They can afford it. They're not... No, I won't throw any poor clubs under the bus, but they're not like any poor club where they're like, oh, I don't want to spend no money, but they will if they have to.
Okay.
But Hardwick, you're welcome to come to be Simo's senior assistant.
Elliot, we know he's out for a month, 4 weeks plus. 8% of teams have him. He's 444,000. That's 15,500 teams out there. Bolt Hero is one of them. Any amateur advices for him to trade?
I wasted a trade last week.
That's on you. I'm pretty sure we talked about the risk of bringing him in.
Well, you go risk it to get the biscuit, mate.
And what happened with you?
No biscuit.
No biscuit. It was stale.
No biscuit.
Someone left the packet open.
It was a water cracker.
You know when you get those biscuits and they're all smashed? You got one of those?
Is there any players that you recommend in the defence for us, for you?
Ridley, but really it's like 520,000, 27,000. So that's only an extra 80,000, 90,000, right? So Ridley, Sinclair as well. Sinclair's about 500, same price. So I think those two. Luke Ryan, he's starting to come good. He was a bit slow, but he's starting to come good. And they're all they're all going to cost you roughly around 80 to 100,000, right? So. Which is actually not that bad. Or you can wait for Sicily, which is going to cost you a little
You
bit.
could probably move him down to the mid. Play around with it.
No, Yo's only defender.
Defense.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
For people who've got Yo like me and don't have another player, they want to have a nice spot. In my team, I've got Doherty. Yes, his last game he done pretty bad, but he's been pretty well over 100 since I picked him up. Myself, I've got Will Day in my mid, so I'll probably bring him back to defense, and then target a midfielder or a forward.
Okay. Or actually, you said Himmelberg, right? 300 odd. So you go from Yo to Himmelberg,
You make
and then you make some money, and that's probably actually a really good one. So you go there, you make money. It's hard to get money at the moment, so if you can easily go to Hilberg and make how much, 50K, 60K?
Probably save a trade as well. I'll have to do 2 trades.
Yeah, then that's probably a good one too.
Shiv, you didn't have Yo. You said Humphreys from Gold Coast is your main one to get out.
Yeah, Humphreys is the main one. So a couple of options. Forward, I've got Taron Thomas as a downgrade. Ben Keys,
No,
an
not
upgrade. But I'll have to move a few players around. Probably Eddie Ford to Marek. And then if I can move him in my back line and get Ridley. So Avenue FC, I'm playing him this week. So take some
give too
notes,
much
buddy. That's all right. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got Ben Keys. So if I go with Ben Keys, it's a bit of a safe option.
Yes.
But we'll see.
But sticking with the St Kilda Westcoast, will that Steel? Are we bringing
I
in
hope
Steel?
he comes back. Come on, man of steel.
Is he coming back
Oh,
to his glory days? Champion Data.
He showed something last week.
Champion Data is not liking Steel at the moment.
The football is not liking steel at the moment.
Surely something's wrong.
He lacks confidence. I watched one of the
Surely
He
games.
doesn't tackle as much.
Yeah, he just doesn't look the same player. Like the confidence-wise, he's very slow to get rid of the ball.
Well,
Not breaking out of tackles. I mean, so
this is the game to come back.
The week to do it.
This is the week to do it.
Captain.
You
it's a
guys
deceiving game as well. Not sometimes the big name players don't perform against West Coast, so it's another one that you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Tim Kelly maybe for maybe captain, eh?
Yeah. Oh, Tim Kelly. Yeah. He's just been consistent. He's been kicking goals as well, but he hasn't kind of reached the Supercoach heights that he did at Geelong, and I'm not sure why. But it's just but he's still ticking over this season, so he's been a pretty good pickup for me for Tim Kelly.
All right. With that said, guys, that's our round 16 preview. We'll move on to our challenge this week. Jung, you want to take over?
All right, so we have been asked about it every single week. When is the next challenge? We've been stopped at the train station. We've been stopped at the bus stop. All right, we're driving down the freeway. People are yelling out the window going, when is the next challenge? So we have all come together, put our brains together on what is going to the most hurtful thing that will happen to us. And we decided on paintball.
Can we just say that our producer Vish wanted to see us hurt?
So
We
paintball,
want to use real guns, but we have to draw a line somewhere.
paintball is going to be the punishment. All right, and what the challenge this week is going to be is going to be our Supercoach overall scores team. All right, the lowest, the least scoring coach here will cop the paintballs
For this round, yeah.
for this round. So what we're going to do, how it's going to be, 3 coaches will be there with the paintballs. The loser will have to run from point A to point B whilst dodging the paintballs. All right.
Potentially in the underwear. We're not.
Clothing is going to be optional,
so-
or maybe not optional, but just a compulsory to be completely off. Okay, undies and mask.
Mask and a box.
So, guys, you have a week to do those sit-ups, to work those abs.
I'll suck it in.
Suck it in.
I'm just going to look like a lamb running past.
We'll cheer you up.
Weren't you known as Tim Wolf before?
Man wolf now.
Man wolf, lamb.
So that is going to be the challenge. We have listened to everyone, and we are bringing back the challenge, and someone will get hurt,
Yep.
and I hope it's not me.
Because he doesn't like paint, so I hope it is him. It'll be funny.
Let's just say I'm not trading Oliver. I'm gonna have him. So I'm at a disadvantage here, but I'm still gonna beat you.
Oh,
Ooh.
You want to do a side bet?
This is the
Clip
bet.
that.
Want to do a side bet? So that will be our challenge, and you will see that next week, and we'll also watch it with a special guest that will be here. All right, Dangerous Dave. We talk about him a lot. New to the comp this season and doing very well. So school holidays now, so he's happy to take a day off the gym and to come visit us here in our Breaking
I
Even
think
studio.
we'll put him in his place. I might take all of us at once if he goes gym and if he's really that bulk. But
He's not big. He's just,
we've got to put him in his place. You're new here, mate. You know your place.
yeah. Well, he goes to the gym every day and he's not that big. So he might be doing something wrong. So So we might need to help their viewers to help him go, hey, what are you doing at the gym? We want to see. Well, we'll ask him how much it benches, and it's probably weak. You know,
Oh, wait. When you said gym, I thought you were referring to Nando's. So it's actually physical work, yeah.
Yeah. He's
Nando's is cheat meal apparently.
Nando's is his cheat meal every Friday night in Sunbury. All right, after work he goes for a sneaky Nando's there. All right, so but he will be here in our Breaking Even studio next week. So
Next
look
week
forward
with
to that.
Nando's. We have Nando's on
Yeah,
film.
we are.
That's it.
Nando's sponsor us.
Do you sponsor Nando's, KFC?
Yeah, KFC that didn't work out for us.
Yep.
Any sponsors will do now.
I'll take
as
a
Jeff
sponsor.
mentioned.
Yeah. You want to sponsor us?
All right, with that said, guys, thanks very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and share the video. And thanks again from the Amateur Buddies here. See you guys.